this shell of false beliefs. A lot of debris and a lot of dirt has covered up our gemstone, the brilliance of the truth of who we are. And while the facade is nice, that painting is nice, it is nothing compared to the exquisite light that we can radiate when we are in our true selves, when we are connected to the nature of who we really are. We radiate. We radiate. When we, as Marilyn said, when we share our gifts, when we're able to uplift others, as Valerie just did with that beautiful keyboard, bringing us to a place of purity. And so that's what our task is. Our task, and that's why we have centers and classes and communities like this, to help us clear away that debris, that dirt that might have been covering us up, and let our brilliant gemstone natures shine once again. That's our task, to clear away all of those limiting beliefs that no longer serve us. And get rid of, chisel away at the outer layers and that shellac and that paint. It's a nice facade, but it's not the truth of who we really are. It's so much more brilliant and beautiful than any paint or any great artist could ever paint on us. We are the art. We are the art. And so I'm going to read another quote from Ernest Holmes again. If God created you after his own nature, I read this before, and there is nothing else he could have made you out of, then the thing you are after is already here, within you. The only thing that stands between you and it are the accumulated thoughts, beliefs, and emotions of the ages. But there is nothing there that has not been put there either by yourself or by humankind that you cannot remove. The gemstone that we are made out of is that God stuff. We have been created out of this nature of God, which is so magnificent. And we are so powerful because we get to create. We get to create. We get to create our lives. We get to create what we think. We can do this. Maybe some of those beliefs have held us back from actually knowing that. But we do create our lives with our thoughts. Now, sometimes things happen in life. Circumstances are there for whatever reason. So I don't like to do the whole, sometimes we can, in the spiritual world, we can get ourselves into a thing of blame. Oh, how did I create this? I don't know how I could have created. Well, sometimes you're never going to figure out why something happened. But we have the gift of choice. So we can always choose how to respond to every single circumstance in our lives. And that response then becomes our experience. So yes, we are powerful creators of our lives. And Meister Eckhart, who was a 12th century German mystic, said, the spiritual life is not a process of addition, but rather of subtraction. The spiritual life is not a process of addition, but subtraction. So let's set about subtracting some of those old beliefs that don't serve us. If you got one that served us, in fact, I was at a party the other night, and it was so interesting because this woman said at the end of the party, she said, my father always told me, and we're always hearing these terrible beliefs we have, if someone doesn't like you, then there's something wrong with them. I thought to myself, what a gift. Her whole life. She said, it wasn't until I was in my 60s I started to think, well, maybe he was wrong. But it served her right. It served her for a whole life. She never, if you didn't like her, her belief, her core belief, was that there was something wrong with you. Not her. And this woman has tons and tons of friends. So it's true. If we have beliefs like that, let's keep them. But if we have the beliefs that are limiting us, holding us back from expressing who we really are, then that's the dirt, and that's the grime that we need to remove, to subtract, and to replace with a higher thought. A higher thought. And so let us work about washing those judgments and those beliefs away. And one of the tools that we use are affirmations. Affirmations can be really powerful. And we can put them up all over if that serves us. It's a reminder. The only reason that we use affirmations or any of these spiritual tools is to remind us of the magnificence that we really are. So put them up all over. You might have one that says, I love and accept myself just the way I am. I'm a beautiful, fantastic child of the divine. Or, as Carol Mayer would say, I'm having a God day today. And when Carol's having a God day, nobody can upset her because she's having a God day. And no one can upset God. Isn't that the truth? So this is just one way, but this is how we start to recognize the divine pattern that exists within each and every one of us. Because we are made out of God's stuff, we have the power to create, as I said before. And Jesus said it is done to us as we believe. And then Ernest Holmes expanded on that statement. He said, in the same book, Jesus had no secret teaching, no occult lore. He indulged in no weird performances. The truths he taught were few and simple. He said that the laws of life are repeated on every plane of being. The teaching of Jesus was that the universe is made up of love and law. God is love.